Okay, good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to model practice activity number 2, which is called MS rod bracket. Now this one here looks a lot more complicated than the one we did previously, but if we break it down feature by feature it's not too difficult at all. So you can see we've got a sort of cylinder in the middle here. We could break this down into two rectangle shapes on this side and this one on the bottom. Bring this one up here as a rectangle, add these chamfers either side, and then add the holes. Okay, so we can break that up pretty quickly. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to create this circle shape here as a sketch. In the same sketch I'm going to create these two rectangles. I'm going to create two rectangles to represent this part here and this part here, and then I'm going to extrude that back, and then once I've done that I'll create this part over here. Okay, so let's get started on this bit just here. So I'm going to jump over to Fusion, but firstly just remember we've got a diameter of 50, a height of 16, the first or the upper rectangle comes out 64 mil, and the lower rectangle, which would be just in here, comes out 56 millimeters. Okay, so let's jump over to Fusion 360. Just close that over. Just going to check my display settings so that they match yours. Fantastic. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a sketch, and again it's asking me for which plane I would like to create that sketch on. I'm just going to click the right hand side plane just there, and it orientates it around for me so I can see. Okay, now I'm going to create a circle. So under sketch, circle, center, diameter. Okay, so sketch, circle, center, diameter, and I'm going to select the center of the circle to be the origin point. So if I just bring my mouse or my cursor over to the origin point here, you can see that it latches onto it. So if I just click there and type in, I don't want to do a Java update, diameter 50, enter, and again with circles I have to enter it twice, and you can see that it's locked it in and it's changed shape, hasn't it? Color, sorry, on the inside. It's got this off-white color on the inside, meaning that it's a closed space. Now I'm going to create a rectangle, a 2-point rectangle. Bring this over here. I'm going to attach, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, just using the scroll on my mouse to zoom in. I'm going to attach to this upper corner here. See that? See how it grabs onto that intersection between the axis and the circle? I'm going to bring that out so it looks sort of like what it was. So it's 64 millimeters across. I'm going to use the tab command to tab between my dimensions, and it's 16 millimeters high. And I'm going to lock that in by pressing enter. Okay. Let me just scroll that over. Fantastic. I'm going to do the same for the bottom. This time I'm going to do it slightly differently, just to show you what would happen if I didn't, or if I forgot to tab across between the dimensions and type the dimensions in. Let's say I just click there. Okay, you can see, just press escape to get out of that. You can see it hasn't actually attached any dimensions to it. I can actually add them in manually. So I can sketch dimension there, add that dimension, and that one was 56. And that one line there was 16. So if you forget to add the dimensions at the time of creating the rectangle, don't stress, because you can always go in under sketch, down the bottom, sketch dimension, and add those dimensions manually. Okay, press escape to get out of that, press escape again. All right, I'm going to stop the sketch. I'm just going to orientate it so it looks similar to how it looks here. So if I flick between the two, you can see that I've created this rough profile. Okay. Now what I want to do is extrude that back 76 millimeters. Extrude command, and I have to select all of my profiles. See that? Until it's all highlighted. Now I actually want to go in the other direction. One side, I might have to just use it as a negative. And it's 76 millimeters. So that would extrude it that way. If I put a negative in, it would extrude it the opposite direction. Okay, see that? Positive going that way, negative going that way. In Invented, you can actually flip it. Okay, I'm just going to hit OK to that. You can see that it's created that shape quite nicely. I've got my sketch. Under my sketch tabs, under my bodies tab, I've got my main body there. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to create this upper box here. I'm going to create it as a box, and then I'll add the chamfers in later. So if I look at this, it's 75 high and it's 76 across. Rotate my workplace around here. I'm going to work on this plane, so I'm going to create a sketch. Select this plane just here. I went a bit quick there, so let me just escape over that. I'm going to create a rectangle. 2-point rectangle. My first point is going to be down in the lower left-hand corner. It will attach to the bottom there. If you just scroll across, it will attach to that bottom corner. And then I just need to select the height, which is 75. Okay, press enter, and there it is. I need to stop my sketch, so pressing stop sketch. I just orientate here. You can see that there's my sketch. It's split into two because of this line in here. So now I need to extrude it to turn it into a solid. And again, it's got a width or a thickness of 16 millimeters. Select both sections. I want a distance of 16 millimeters. I'll just type that in over there. In fact, I want it to go the other way. So I'm going to hit negative, and you'll see something strange happens. See how it changes into this red color? And this actually changes from join to cut. So we just need to be careful about that, okay? Because we had one body going into another body, or a solid going into a solid, it assumes that we want to cut it away. It's not the case. In this one, we want to join it together, okay? So that's just under the join there. Hit OK. I'm just going to orientate that around. See that it's looking very similar now to my practice part. Now I want to add these two chamfers on each corner, and they are 13 mil down. So we're under the Modify tab. We actually have a command called chamfer. Okay, so Modify chamfer, and if I select both those edges and type in 13, it'll actually create that for me. Okay, I'll just cancel that and do that again slower. So it's under the Modify tab, chamfer, selecting both edges, and then just typing 13 millimeters. Hit enter. So that's them in there. Right. Now for the holes. We've got, let's do the easy one first here. We've got a diameter 25 hole that goes all the way through the middle. So create. Hole. Always seems to struggle to find that. It's asking me for which face I would like to create the hole on. I'm just going to plonk it over here. I want to make it, just select my reference. I want to align it here with this curve. I don't know why it's not letting me select this one. Yours might be different. Okay, let's have a look at some of our commands here. Instead of distance, I want it to go all the way through, don't I? So I'm going to go through all, and it'll go through the other side. And let me just move that out of the way. I know my head's in the way there. And it had a diameter of 25. And you can just type that in, change that. Once you're happy with all of what you've done, remember, selected my reference. I changed the extents to all, so it goes through everything. And then I changed my diameter to 25. Hit OK. Fantastic. Let's do the 2 on this part. It's got 2 holes just here. Okay. They're diameter 12, and it looks like 16 in and 22 in from the end, from the middle center line here. So let's do that. Excellent. So modify, no, create a hole. Let's move that dialog box out the way. Select the face. Okay, I'm happy for it to go all the way through. I'm going to select my first reference, which is going to be that bottom line there, and I'm going to type in 16. Not 6, 16. What's going on there? There it is. Okay, into that. Oh no. Notice that I didn't finish doing everything before I entered out of it. No big dramas. If I go down into my timeline and double click on it, it'll bring back up the editing box. Okay. So I've selected one reference. I'm going to select the other references, which is going to be this end here. And it's actually going to be 38 millimeters, which is to the center. What's going on here? 3, 8. Don't like that. 38 minus 22. Then I'm just going to hit enter. Very frustrating. Just double click on that again. Hopefully you're not having the same issues that I'm having. Just going to change my diameter now to diameter 12. Okay. Okay. Right, that looks right. Create another hole. Create hole. At least I found it this time. Select that face. First reference is this one here, which is 16 millimeters. Just type it in super quick. Second reference here is 38 minus 22, and it has a diameter of 12 millimeters. Just typing that in. Okay. Hit OK. Right, great. Look at that. It's looking almost complete. Now I've got one more hole to put in here. All right. I'm going to do this hole slightly differently. I'm going to create it as, no, actually I won't. We'll do that in the next tutorial. Let's keep going with the whole command. So it's diameter 25, it's 38 mil from the end, and it's 32 down. Okay. Spin this around so I can create my hole on this face. Create a hole. Let's move that dialog box out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Select that face. Fantastic. Now you can see it's starting to cut into my existing work, so I'm going to have to change that. But let's just get it in the right place first. Select my edge as a reference, and that is 38. I'll type it in real quick. It doesn't seem to affect it. Okay, My next reference is down from the top edge here, which is 32. There we go. So it looks like to put holes in, you just have to be really decisive. Now, let's just change the diameter. Bring this over the way so we can see it actually has a diameter of 25. So let's just type that in. Fantastic. So I'm almost okay with it. The only thing I don't like is the fact it's cutting into this edge over here. So instead of distance, I can select 2, and I can just select this back face. Okay, so see that under the 2, and I select that back face, it'll only go all through to this face over here. All right. Once I'm happy with that, I hit OK, and there you go. The bracket is finished. Yep, I don't think I missed anything. Fantastic. So I'm going to go File, Save, and I'm going to call that Practice Part 2 and 360. Practice activity. Practice activity number 2. Save. Wonderful. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll start on the next tutorial. Thank you.